Hello, students of class 8. We meet once again for a class, all right, for the online classes. And I believe you have done your homework, the meanings, the sentences. Okay, so we will continue with the Lady of the Tiger. All right, it's been pretty long, I know that. Okay, so still we will continue and we'll finish the chapter. Okay, so last time we read till where there were two trapdoors, okay, and he had to choose. All right, so now the stage is set, okay, for the young man, for the trial. The king is happy, in fact the kingdom has come to the arena, okay, where the stage is set. Now let's see and let's read. As the youth advanced into the arena, he turned, as the custom was, to bow to the king, but he did not think at all of that royal personage. His eyes were fixed upon the princess who sat to the right of her father. Had it not been for the moiety of barbarism in her nature, it is probably that lady would not have been there, but her intense and fervid soul would not allow her to be absent on an occasion in which she was so terribly interested. Okay, now you can see, we understand that this man is ready. This young man bowed. He did not care for anybody, but since he was so loyal, he bowed, and now the stage is set. The princess is pretty scared because it is her lover that is going for the trial or to die. We do not know. Neither any one of them knows. Okay? And here it says, from the moment that the decree had gone forth and her lover should decide his fate in the king's arena, she had thought of nothing night or day but this great event and the various subjects connected with it. So this was not only about the trial, it's about the king's pride. It was about the trial that has been conducted for so many years. All right? Possessed of more power, influence, and force of character than anyone who had ever before been interested in such a case, she had done what no other person had done. She had possessed herself of the secret of the doors. Okay, now this woman, the princess, she had possessed the secret of the doors. Just imagine you having a secret which nobody knows. Okay, so it is more of fun, but it is scary as well. She knew in which of the two rooms that lay behind those doors stood the cage of the tiger with its open front, and in which waited the lady. Through these thick doors, heavily curtained with skins on the inside, it was impossible that any noise or suggestion should come from within to the person who should approach to raise the latch of one of them, but gold and the power of woman's will had brought the secret of the princess. So now you can just imagine how heavily guarded was this door, how thick was the skin. People would not hear the screams, people would not hear the whisper that was coming back of the door. So this ritual which was conducted by the king was very, very sacred. Not only did she know in which room stood the lady, ready to emerge, all blushing and radiant, should her door be open, but she knew who the lady was. It was one of the fairest and loveliest of the damsels of the court who had been selected as reward of the accused. Youth should be proved innocent of the crime of aspiring to one so far above him, and the princess hated her. Often had she seen or imagined that she had seen this fair creature throwing glances of admiration of the person of her lover, and sometimes she thought these glances were perceived and even returned. Now, from these lines, we come to know about the nature, the critical nature of the princess. Okay? How she hated her. Those things are there, are clearly visible. This man was fair and handsome, but she did not like. Okay? Now and then she had seen them talking together. It was but for a moment or two, but much can be said in a brief space. It may have been one most unimportant topics, but how could she know that? The girl was lovely, but she had dared to raise her eyes to the loved one of the princess, and with all the intensity of savage blood transmitted to her through long lines of woolly barbaric ancestors, she hated the woman who blushed and trembled behind the silent door. Now the princess was against her daughter. Obviously, because this man was not of the royal blood, number one, and he dared to love her, and the princess also, the daughter also dared to love this man who was not of royal blood. So there was a lot of enmity, there was a lot of cold war going between the daughter and the mother. So we can see this drama that was there. All right. Now let's continue. When her lover turned and looked at her, and his eyes met hers as she sat there, paler and whiter than one in the vast ocean of anxious face about her, he was, by that power of quick perception which is given to those souls are one, and she knew behind which door crouched the tiger and behind which stood the lady. Now we can just imagine the scene. The man, the lover, is standing there, and the princess is waiting for the tiger to eat him, because the princess knows from which door the tiger would come. All right. He had accepted her to bow, her to know it. He understood her nature, and his soul was assured that she would never rest until she had made plain to relieve this thing, hidden to all other lookers on, even to the king. So we can see the intention. The intention is not good. Okay, the intention is not good, because she does not want her daughter to go with some clergyman or some middleman. Okay, she wants her daughter to marry a royal blood, but here the daughter is against the will of the mother. So obviously mother is angry. Okay. The only hope for the youth, in which there was an element of certainty, was based upon the success of the princess in discovering this mystery. And the moment he looked upon her, he saw she had succeeded, as his soul he knew she would succeed. Then it was that quick and anxious glance asked the question. Now here there is a long stare, okay, about the success rate, about how he would perform. The princess is anxious, so is the man. Now, among this trial, so now here is a question raised. So let's see what that question is. All right. Which? It was as plain to her as if he shouted it from where he stood. Now, question is which? He means to say which is the one. All right. There was not an instant to be lost. The question was asked in a flash. It must be answered in another. Her right arm lay on the cushioned parapet before her. She raised her hand. Now you can just imagine. After asking the question, now she raised her hand and made a slight quick movement towards the right. No one but her lover saw her. Every eye but she was fixed on the man in the arena. So nobody saw this hand except the man. He turned, and with a firm and rapid step he walked across the empty space. So now once he saw the signal, he turned with firmness. So that shows also the confidence level. Okay, if someone gives you a clue to the answer, you would definitely write it with confidence. So is this man. Once he got the signal, he was confident enough to go. Every heart stopped beating. Every breath was held. Every eye was fixed, immovable upon that man. Without the slightest hesitation, he went to the door on the right and opened it. Now you can just see the intensity. He was so confident. So while he was making his move, the entire arena was silent. Okay, the entire arena, the entire people, the king was waiting for the fate of this man. Now he goes to the right and he opens the door. Now let's see. Now, the point of the story is this: did the tiger come out the door or did the lady? So you can just imagine what came: the lady or the tiger? All right. So we can just imagine what happens to this fate of the person. What would you think? Did he live and marry the princess or did he die? Okay, so these are some of the questions we need to think or ponder about. Okay, and reflect it. All right, and I will leave that answer to you. Okay, so you think and see what happens. All right, so dear class, we come to the end of the chapter. Okay, and in the next class I will be giving you some assignments, some question answers. Now we need to solve it. We will be doing in the next class. All right, and thank you and have a great day.